This short Bible study tidbit is presented by Mary Alta, a member of New Hope Community Church.
If you had to define the word miracle, how would you do it? Biblically, it is defined as events which unmistakably involve an immediate and powerful action of God designed to reveal His character or purposes. Another way it might be defined is this. In the biblical sense, a miracle is an event that is contrary to the regularly observed processes of nature. I always think of it as God's reminder that He is not only aware of us, but is active in our lives. There are many examples of miracles in Scripture, both in the Old Testament and in the New Testament. Sometimes a miracle is really two miracles in one, such as when God parted the Red Sea, He also made the ground instantly dry. Likewise, when He parted the Jordan River for Joshua and later for Elijah and Elisha. And in the New Testament, it is said that when Jesus miraculously calmed the storm on the Sea of Galilee and rescued His disciples who were caught in the storm, that immediately the boat reached the shore where they were heading. What a relief that must have been for the disciples who were exhausted from rowing against the storm. Did you ever consider that when Jesus walked on water, there was another miracle at the same time? Remember, Peter also walked on the water. For Peter, this was the proof he asked for, that it really was Jesus who was coming toward them and speaking to them. For Jesus, it was taken as an act of faith. Peter acted on the response to his test or fleece. It is interesting that Jesus did not calm the storm until he and Peter were in the boat. There is no set formula or pattern pertaining to miracles. Sometimes Jesus interacted with the person to be healed. Such an example is the man at the pool of Bethesda. First, Jesus asked the man if he wanted to get well. The man did not answer directly. His belief was that if he was the first one into the pool after the water was stirred by an angel, he would be cured. So he responded that he had no one to help him into the pool. It was a superstitious belief. But Jesus showed him the real source of healing. Jesus simply said to him, "Get up, pick up your mat, and walk." Some miracles require action on the part of Jesus, such as when He gives sight to the man born blind, as recorded in John chapter 9. Actually, there are multiple miracles here. Jesus knew the man had been born blind. He evidently told His disciples, and they wanted to know who had sinned. It was the belief in those days that such things were caused by sin on the part of someone connected to the person. Jesus dealt with that belief by saying that no one sinned. No one caused this blindness by his actions, but the man had been born blind so that the work of God might be displayed in his life. This time He had to show a work of God. So, this time, Jesus spit on the ground, made some mud with the saliva, and put it on the man's eyes. This was truly a divine appointment. The blind man did not even know who Jesus was. Think about that. Jesus and His disciples had to be there at that particular time. The blind man had to be there. They did not know one another. It was strictly a God thing. Sometimes the effect is seen in other people connected to the miracle in some way. For instance, when Jesus healed the nobleman's son, as recorded in John 4:46-53, it resulted in the immediate conversion of the nobleman and his household. And we learn in Luke 5:4-11 that Jesus told Simon Peter and John to put down their nets in deep water, with the result that they caught so many fish that their nets were about to break. This caused Peter and John to leave their fishing boats and follow Jesus. Some of the miracles are truly spectacular from a human point of view, such as the raising of Lazarus from the dead. But some are more personal and intimate and not done for the public to see. There is the turning of the water into wine at the wedding in Cana, for instance. Evidently this was a family affair. And there is the healing of Peter's mother-in-law, who was not only healed of a fever, but immediately strengthened and able to serve a meal to them. Again, personal and private. It became known simply because of the grapevine, but Jesus did not do it in public. The miracles concerning nature need nothing but the will of God. The miracles concerning people have one thing in common. In the cases where there is a request for a miracle, they require the faith or belief that Jesus can do what is being asked. When the miracle is unsolicited, it simply requires the grace and mercy of God. Often, but not always, the miracle turns the person to God, which just might be the intended outcome. One example of a miracle not turning a person to God might be seen in the man healed by the pool of Bethesda in Jerusalem. His life did not change because of the healing. We know that because we find in John 5:14 that Jesus found him later and told him to stop sinning or something worse may happen to you. This evidently was not what the man wanted to hear, so he went and told the Pharisees what Jesus had done, which gave them another grievance against Jesus. One final comment. Jesus often tested faith of the person asking for the miracle. This was for their benefit, not his. So, look for miracles and the results of them as you just keep reading. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Have a blessed day.